सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम्। श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तक्षणात् शुश्रूषुभिस्तक्षणात्। Sometimes in the Leela of the Lord, it is very beautiful to find that Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara participate in it to extend the glories of the Lord to talk about. The last time that we saw, Brahma ji, he is the Srishtikarta. He should not have gotten confused. He wanted to check if this Krishna was the Krishna avatara that the Lord promised. He wanted to test before he can go for a higher cause. It is not to be misunderstood that Brahmaji did not know. Brahmaji also participated in the Leela so that we understand the glories of that Lord. Sometimes it takes a Mahatma like Durvasa or such great Mahatmas to play the devil's advocate so that the Lord blesses the devotee faster than it would have been. This is all part of Lord's Leela. Just to give us a convincing fact that when the Lord decides to come and tap into our hearts, He will find one way or the other to get in. All that we have to do is hang in there and tune ourselves into the Lord in ultimate surrender. What bhava that we invoke to have the Lord and His grace does not matter. We have seen that there are people who had the bhava of krodha, bhava of jealousy. Whatever be the bhava, vatsalya bhava, sneha bhava, sakha bhava, pitru bhava, matru bhava, whatever be the bhava, if that bhava has the intensity and we maintain that intensity, the Lord shall appear in our lives. So Brahmaji tests as though the Lord, and having tested the Lord having taken different forms. We talk about the Lord taking avatara here and there. In Krishna Avatara, he has taken so many avatars simultaneously. He became the entire Vraja. The Gopalas that were missing, the cows that were missing, the calves that were missing, everything was nothing but Krishna alone. And imagine the blessed Gokula, wherein they had all of these mothers and fathers who had Krishna taken form as their own sons and daughters, as their own cows and calves. How blessed they must have been. How blessed that cow must have been whose calf was stolen by Brahmaji, and Krishna had taken the form of cow or calf to drink the milk of that cow. So when we look into Bhagavatam, especially through the 10th canto, instead of being analytical about it and bringing down everything to symbolic gestures, sometimes to understand the Lord and His grandness, symbolism helps. But beyond a certain limit, symbolism just ruins bhakti. So we have to transcend that symbolism and understand that the Lord, as is with His Leela, walked on this earth not long ago, just a few millenniums ago, 5,000 years ago, which in the huge history is not much. You don't understand the joy that when I visit Vrindavan or Govardhan is amazing. Because that was the very land where Lord Krishna, Balarama and all his Sakha played. From the Balya Avastha, now the Lord has grown to the Kaumar Avastha. The pranks increase. So far his little feet could do only so much pranks, which filled our hearts. Now we are in for more pranks of the Lord, more Leela of the Lord. So after Brahmaji's Stuti in the 14th chapter of 10th canto, wherein Brahmaji conveys the entire Vedanta in his Stuti, having thus conveyed, Brahmaji takes leave of the two Kumaras, and the entire Vraja is filled with the originals. Krishna takes back his forms and merges into himself. So as soon as the originals come in, the Krishna Avatara in various Gopala formats also are withdrawn. In fact, this particular 1 year period, the mothers were feeling more than happy and satisfied with their own children. They were feeling as though it was Krishna himself. Why not? Because it was none other than Krishna himself. See, Mahatmas who have had a fleeting darshan of the Lord feel their entire lives are purified. Imagine the Lord staying with them for the whole year must have done lots of punya. Or the way the Upanishads say it, with our punya, we can only have a fleeting darshan. If we have to have such an interaction with the Lord, it has to be His grace alone. And in His grace, He chooses, He just floods with His love. Now what happened here in, they had already shifted to Vrindavana, and the Vrindavana was being explored by these young feet. Not a stone, not a tree, not a plant was left untouched by the Lord. He was exploring all parts of this Vrindavan. Tatascha paugandavaya shrito vraje. This is in the 15th chapter. Paugandavaya is somewhere around 6 years of age. Imagine the Lord just 6 years of age, and Balaramji just older than him. One was Shyama Sundara, the other one was Gauranga. One was black, the other one was white. Yeah, you could call them black and white. So one was bluish in color and with all charming nature. The other one was more reserved in his nature, always there looking out to protect all his Gopalas. And they would always be running around doing lot of mischief as they were growing up. Vrindavanam punyamativa chakratuhu. In this Vrindavana, with their own divine feet, they have sanctified that entire place, that the dust of Vrindavana is worthy of worship. Not just then, even today it is worthy of worship. Even to touch that same land where the Lord had walked all around. See, we carry souvenirs, right? Let me just finish this thought and get into the story. Some of that thought is overwhelming now. We carry souvenirs of great players, actors, actresses, preferably with their signature on it, and carry it as a trophy, display, that such and such had signed this. Autograph books, or their autobiography books which have been signed by them, carry a lot of value. The Lord Himself not just signed, danced and played on this earth. What to talk of the greatness of that Vrindavana? Every plant, every stone there, by virtue of His touch, we require extreme punya to go there and touch that. Such is the greatness of this Punya Bhumi Vrindavana. Tanmadhavo venu mudirayan vrataha goper granabhi swayasho balanvitaha. So they would go around this Vrindavana onto different hills, different mounds, different forests, different grazing lands. Usually it would be Krishna playing the flute. Around him there would be all these Gopalas, each one with their own specific musical instrument, one with the cymbals, one with the cow horn you can blow into it. So they would carry that, then they would have conches, they would have little drums tied to their waist, and as Krishna would start singing, they would start playing on those drums. And little mridangas or dholkis that they would be carrying around. It would look like more of a celebration rather than somebody given a task of grazing the herd. So all the cows, the calves, they had not yet graduated into cows. They were still taking care of the young ones. So all the calves would be in front of them. They would be walking behind, Krishna in the main lead, playing the flute, happily, like, jumping around. One foot, one up, and other foot other time, and they would keep gala time jumping around and running around with those. And the moment they found a beautiful pond, some of them would secure the calves, the rest of them would immediately strip off all their clothes, jump into that, play around. If there is somebody who is not ready to play, they would make sure that give him a nice swing into the pond. See, growing up in villages, swimming, it comes naturally. You start learning it naturally. You don't need to go to a training center to learn it. So all these kids would be playing around, going around those, and whenever they feel hungry, the beautiful forests were always filled with all sorts of things. Beautiful berries, wild berries, fruits, roots. Some of the flowers also were so tasty that they would eat the flowers. No, don't make faces. Eating flowers? Gulkand bana ke khate hai na. That is also a flower, rose petal. So they would eat the flowers. And sometimes when the fruits lack that sweetness in it, so they would climb the top of the tree where there is a honeycomb, chase away all the bees, get a slice of it, and squeeze a fresh dose of honey, drizzle on these fruits and eat. Of course, they had their own lunch packages also, but these were side dishes on the side. So they would enjoy it. Every day was a picnic for them. When I was reading through it, ये तो रोज का picnic है इनका. We have to take our time off to do such things. On the pretext of grazing the calves, they had everyday picnic. Thus playing around, as they were walking into this beautiful part of Vrindavan, Krishna ji, looking at this Vrindavan, felt like complimenting the Vrindavana and addressed his older brother. What did he say? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aho Ami Deva Varamat Rachitam. Hey Rama, Balarama, hey Dau, all this forest has eagerly brought out its best of the flowers, best of the greenery, best of the fruits and berries, because all these are your devotees. And they cannot live in separation from you. And they did not want to be anything else other than trees and plants, so that you could take complete service. When required, you would take rest underneath. When required, you would jump on them and play with them. When required, you would eat of them. So all these plants have come all the way to serve you, O Balaramji, O big brother. In fact, as you have entered, if you have observed those beautiful peacocks that ran in front of us, displaying their beautiful feathers, dancing in front of you, inviting into the forest, that was as though hand-picked, chosen and decorated for your arrival. Now Balramji was feeling good. We find that entire Bhagavatam, the importance is to Krishna, and he passes that importance to Balramji. He himself does all the stuti. He says, oh big brother, we are really blessed to have you with us. Because of your presence, this entire Prakriti is dancing. The entire Prakriti is dancing in welcoming you. So after this description, Shukadev ji says, Evam vrindavanam shrimat krishna pritamana pashun reme sancharayan nendre saridrodhatsut sanugaha. Like this, on the Yamuna Nadi Tira, on the Govardhana Parvata, and around this beautiful Yamuna, Lord started doing many small leelas. On one side, the Gopalas take to one team, and the other side there is Krishna's team. So Balaramji would be sent to the other team. So who are the captains now? Krishna on one team is the captain, then other side Balaramji is the captain on the other side. They would invent every day a new game. So they would gather all the beautiful flowers from the forest. And then everybody would compete to make the first mala. When I am talking of mala, it is not like little malas. Huge, big, elaborate malas. So whoever is the winner would get to adorn the opposite team's leader with their mala. It would be decorating Krishna and Balarama. Though these kids were young, because of their pure heart, they had this Nitya Upasana of the Lord. We have to create an idol and then invoke the Lord in it. The Lord Himself was there with them. And it was not just Nitya Upasana, it was a beautiful time that these kids had with Rama and Balarama, Krishna and Balarama. So sometimes they would create various tunes. They would hear to various tunes the nature is making and create a symphony out of it. And as though these bees and the other sound making creatures, listening to the conductor, that's what it's called in the symphony, which Krishna would be playing the flute, and they would be making sounds in accordance into the music that the Lord was making. The entire thing would be charged up with such melody. Sometimes they would be making faces of all the Pashu. And if they found a bunch of monkeys, probably they would remember, and that is what it is said, probably Krishna remembered the earlier time that he had help from the Bandar, from the Vanara. The entire Sainya was filled with Vanara, right? So they would start imitating them. And the entire Gopalas doing a monkey, the monkeys would feel challenged. Because these Gopalas would be jumping up and down, running up and down the trees, pushing somebody, pulling somebody. Or suddenly they would pick one of those Gopalas. Pick of the day. Sometimes they would praise them, sometimes they would teasing them, sometimes they would be imitating that particular Gopala. All under the instruction of Krishna. So who is the pick of the day decided by Krishna, and they give a grand time to that particular kid that day. Thus running and dancing all over, when Balaramji would feel really tired and rest his head on one of the Gopala's lap, Krishna would meticulously come down and press his feet. Kvachit krida parishrantam gopotsangopabarhanam swayam vishramyatrashyam pada samvahanadibihi. So the Lord would be pressing his own older brother's feet. Probably to say, when I was the older brother, you did lot of seva to me. Now you are the older one, let me use these few chances that I have to serve you as an older brother. Probably later you may not get this chance also. If you think at it, then most of the time Balramji was in the kingdom and Krishna was running. He had a busy schedule. He used to run up and down Hastinapur as though it was next to his house. Whenever his devotees called, whenever he was called, he used to run. He said, let me make use of this opportunity to serve my older brother. So he would one day press his feet, one day take a big leaf. The beauty here given is, the leaf would be as big as Krishna. And he would hold that leaf and fan his older brother. Sometimes, running around, they would all gather and sit down. They would sit down and start making instant poetry. So they would be singing their own self-created poetry. And after the poetry is submitted, one of them used to bring in a tune into that poetry. And they had a band. So Krishna was the flute player, then Balramji was playing on the dholki, and then there would be entire team playing instruments, and they will be singing. Sometimes they will sit around and remember all the pranks that they had done. Krishna and Balarama sitting in the middle, all the Gopalas sitting around them, they would be remembering all the pranks. Remember this particular house, how we stole all those things? See, the butter thief was before 6 years. He just turned 6. You know, they're remembering all those pranks that they had done in Gokula. How everybody, not a single house was spared. Not a single person was spared. Not a single cow was spared. And they would repeat all those things and make poetry on those things that they had experienced. In turn, what these Gopalas were doing was nothing but contemplating on the glories of the Lord. See, when we are asked to contemplate on the Lord 24/7, what else were these kids doing? Tat kathanam, tat shravanam, anyonyam tat prabodhanam. Constantly hearing the glories of the Lord, constantly seeing, constantly interacting with the Lord, constantly exchanging the glories of the Lord. Right in front of the Lord doing his stuti. Blessed must be these kids, that they had the opportunity to do a live performance right in front of the Lord. Must have done lot of punya, acquired lot of punya. Sometimes when all these silent things are done, then they would get into sand dunes. You know, across the Yamuna Nadi, there's a lot of sand. So they would divide into pairs. They would have an international competition of Kusti. World Championships of Kusti. Now, of course, in the mock fights, Balarama and Krishna would be defeated. So Krishnaji would allow them to defeat him. And as they defeated Krishna, you know, in the technical details of Kusti or wrestling, is the opponent has to be floored in such a way that the back stays on the floor for a count of 10. It The one who had killed Putana, then all these Daityas and Asuras, it was not a big deal for him to do the other way around. But he would allow them to defeat him, fall on him and press him down to the floor, and sometimes as a prank, while they are trying to press, instead of fighting back, Krishna would tickle them. And they would all run back to Balramji saying, this is not fair. He was not being fair in that wrestling. Instead of fighting, he was tickling us. So the Balramji's decision was, so we will have a tickle fight. Not wrestling, not mock wrestling, but we will have a tickle fight. Who tickles the other person most? So in this entire group, the gang of Vrindavan, the entire gang, Balaramji, Krishnaji, one of the main persons was Sri Dama, who gets mentioned in Bhagavata. Then there were other Gopalas like Subala, Stoka Krishna. Stoka Krishna, Stoka means small. So there must have been another kid who was like a lookalike or as much a prankster as Krishna, that he was named as Chota Krishna. There was Bada Krishna, then there is Chota Krishna, Stoka Krishna. Then there was Shyama, there was Rama. They were all various Gopalas. One day, they all turned to Balaramji and Krishnaji and said, far away from here, there is one beautiful forest that we have heard of, which is filled with date trees. And there is the sweet fruits of these dates. And what we get here is a processed one. And most of the time they are, what do they say when they remove the seeds? Pitted. Pitted because you don't later need to spitted. They have been pitted, the seeds have been removed. But the fresh ones, as you can pluck them off or drop from the tree, they have a different taste altogether. The natural sweetness in it is entirely different. So Sudama or Sridama, he says, there is this beautiful forest filled only with date trees, date palms. And the fruits, they fall on the floor, then there is a gentle breeze, the entire Vrindavan gets filled with that smell. But nobody can dare get into that place. Santi kim tvat rudhani dhenuke na duratmana. There is this Asura there, a very wicked fellow called Dhenukasura. And this Dhenukasura lives there along with his many friends. Tasmat krutanaraharat bhitair nrubhir mitrahan na sevyate pashuganaihi. Any animal, human who goes through that forest is devoured by these Daityas. So those fruits are really good, we have only heard of it, nobody has ever tasted them. We have explored all these various parts in Vrindavan and around Vrindavan. I think we should explore that one also. So he turns to Balramji. Say, we are looking up to you. You must be 7 years old. If they are standing in front of them, they would be this height. 6-year-old, 7-year-old. Say, let's go explore. See, the fun is not in that which comes in the home. The fun is when you put effort in some other garden, pluck them and eat them, they are much tastier. I don't know if the kids growing up here even understand that principle. We used to also do this. In one of the places that I was growing up, we had bunch of friends. After dinner, we would all gather and plot. We would find the pick of the day, because in everybody's backyard there were fruit trees, there were papaya trees. We never purchased papaya, pomegranate or sitafal, nothing. It was attack. So there was this particular lady who had nice sized pomegranate tree. It was not a plant, it had grown into a tree. And just to keep the buri nazar away, she would tie it with the plastic cover wrapper. You know, the white ones or the black ones, she would tie it so that we don't eye it. So one day we planned. There were like 16, 17 of them. 3, 4 of us on either sides of the garden. And then 2 of us or 3 of us climbed. There were 2 of us waiting with a towel. So they pluck and throw and it falls and it doesn't split open and get dirty. Everything was prepared, planned. And then pull out all those fruits. And those plastic covers, tie it to another small little one. Unnecessarily she will get panicky, right? Whoever has tied it with such patience, we would retie it to another part. Sometimes there will be no fruit, but we'll still tie it down. So these kids, on the proposal of Sri Dhamma, they said, let us explore that beautiful forest filled with date trees, date palm. So as they reached to that beautiful place, they had walked long distance. As they reached to that place, and then Balaramji took hold of one of the date plant which had lot of fruits on it. As a young elephant shakes the tree, he shook the entire tree, the date palm. As he shook, all the fruits fell down. If you have seen the date palm leaves, the leaves rumble, making sound. Hearing this sound, Dhenukasura and his friends got alerted and found the source of the sound, started running towards that particular group of kids who had come in. Now Dhenukasura was always in the form of a donkey. If you have to play pranks with donkey, you have to be careful with their hind feet. You have to never be behind a donkey. And the kick is really powerful. In front of a bull, behind a donkey, never safe. So this donkey came in, the description is very beautiful here. Phalanam patatam shabdham nishamya surara sabhaha abhyadhavat shititalam sanagam parikampayan sametya tarasa pratyak dvabhyam padbhyam balam bali. So it ran towards Balaramji, who was shaking that plant, that tree. As soon as it approached, it turned. The donkey turned around and kicked powerfully over Balaramji with the 2 hind feet. And Balaramji took that kicks from the Dhenukasura and I said, okay, that is where is your strength? Thanks for letting me know. So as the kicks were being thrown at Balaramji, he dodged them. The third time around, when Dhenukasura and his team started throwing the kicks, must have learned Jujutsu, Taekwondo, turned around and kicked. Balaramji with one hand held the two legs, lifted, and with other hand held the front legs and gave it a good spin. Nice spin. So much that the winds started changing directions. Imagine if the winds have to change the direction. How fast he must have twisted that Dhenukasura. Twisted that Dhenukasura and threw him up into the date palm trees. As he was being flung around, because of that spin, and the air and wind direction changed, Dhenukasura was not able to breathe because air was not available. A vacuum was created around him. Imagine the speed with which he must have twisted. And by the time Balaramji had thrown him, the Dhenukasura was already a dead meat. As he hit, the beauty here is, as he hit the first date palm, it was like playing bowling. It hit the first date palm. The first date palm hit the second one. The second one hit the third one. 30, 40 date palm trees fell down. Usually, you have seen these date palms grow. A strong tornado or a cyclone has enough strength to uproot these plants. One throw from Balaramji, 30, 40 of them in a line got uprooted. Now, seeing their leader being killed, the rest of the donkeys, who were the Daityas supporting Dhenukasura, ran towards Balarama and Krishna. And both of them, as though a game, they finished all these asuras. The entire floor in that forest, in near vicinity, was filled with the fruits hit by these Daityas being thrown around. And in the farthest distance you could see that all the asuras were piled. There was the pile of fruits and there was a pile of asuras. So they had their stomach full of fruits, which Sri Rama and Stoka Krishna, the younger Krishna or the Chota Krishna, whether it is in age Chota or height Chota, malum nahi, but he was called Chota Krishna. So they all enjoyed that fruit after such long time and then appreciated Sri Rama. Nice research. We didn't even know that this place had such beautiful fruits. Definitely add it onto our list. Whenever we visit, we mark, right? This place is my favorite. I visit it again. So this was one of those favorite places that they wanted to visit again. After this, as they were returning back, they all were tired because of a extended period of extra entertainment for them. And none of the Gopalas came in between. They were watching the fun from a distance. The main actors were Rama and Balarama and Krishna. So they were, explaining it back to Balarama and Krishna as to how each one was dealt. Action replay. As to how each one was dealt and how each powerful blow started throwing out these plants and trees And they started counting. You know, the first one that you threw, 30, 40 plants fell down. The second one you threw, there were 60 of them. So they had a graphical description of all these endeavors that they had done. And they would be doing Krishna Kamala Patrakshaha Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Stuyamano Anugai Gopaihi Sagrajo Vrajamavrajata. Thus cleaning up the entire place and sanctifying the entire Vrindavana, Vrajabhumi. They were going from one place to the other, as though in anticipation of Rama and Balarama's visit with their grazing calves. The place would also be ready with all greenery, inviting them. Just because Rama and Balarama and Krishna would walk, the grass there, it seems, would never get beyond few days, so that it would always remain tender. So it will be soft on the feet of the Lord. And it will be easy for the calves to digest. See, the older men would take the cows in one direction, and the younger kids would take the calves in another direction. Usually if you mix them both, there will be no milk left. So they would take the calves to one direction, and there would be always green pastures all around. The grazing grounds were really pretty. It was as though, like we have here, lawns maintained. And they don't need to mow the lawn. They just had to take these calves there and it would be mowed automatically. So they would constantly keep visiting. So after everything was done, after the fight was done, and they had their stomach full, they would pick beautiful flowers, wild flowers. So Balaramji and Ramji would be decorated with those wild flowers. And sometimes there are wild plants, wild leaves, with beautiful combination, would make a mukuta out of it, and they would wear it on Krishna and Balarama. And the smaller ones of the same kind would be worn by everybody. It's like the brand name thing, right? If Krishna and Balarama wears it, everybody else has to wear it. So they would make those beautiful little topis, and with the palm leaves that they had recently found, they would twist it and turn it and make a lot of sound making instruments. You know, when you turn it around and put two little pieces of that same leaf and you start playing on it, it starts making beautiful sounds. And some who could not make that, they would take the two leaves and then play with it, making sounds. So they would invent something or the other. They would constantly be active. And self-entertaining group. They never had to have anybody else, anything else to entertain them. They would constantly go around. Around Godhuli. Godhuli is around between 3:30 and 4:30. An hour, hour and a half before sunset, they would all come back. Why is that hour called a Godhuli? Godhuli because the dhuli of the cows, when it is raised in the air, the entire Vrindavan could see that this group is coming back. By the time these kids reached home, they would be in different shape and color. And their moms really would have had a tough time washing clean all those stains because of their pranks, fruits, flowers, all colors smeared on them. Sometimes they eat the fruit, juicy fruits, the juices are all over them. And to add on top of it, while they were coming, the calves would be in front of them and they would be behind, and the dust raised by the hoofs of these calves would settle pleasantly on all these Gopalas. That when their beautiful Vanamala and the Mukuta that was made in the forest, when that is removed, that particular portion of the pagadi would remain in the same color as the mothers would have sent them in morning. The rest of it is always discolored. The face, the dhuli would come off. That particular part where there was the mala, when you remove that mala, so there is one patch and there is another patch of dust. And as they would be coming with all this dust, they will be playing their instruments. As soon as Vrindavan hears that particular sweet sound of Krishna's flute, as though by alarm, all the gopis and gopas of Vrindavan would come into the streets. With the reason that, we have come down to take our kids, our calf, but more so to see Krishna and Balarama. Because it had become a tradition to see fresh Krishna and Krishna smeared with all these colors. So they go in one color, come back in another color. Not because they had tanned. It was because of all this dust that had settled on them. So as all these gopas and gopis would come down, the gopis would be eagerly waiting to match the eyes of Krishna, just to see if Krishna had seen them or not. They would be waiting eagerly. Maybe one day Krishna, as soon as he is entering, he says, "Bahut bhook lagi hai. I need something to eat right away." Maybe someday he will ask and they would keep something ready for him. Some fresh juice, some fresh things that they had made, thinking that Krishna would be hungry. Imagine, every house in Vrindavan was in preparation, ready. That if Krishna by chance steps in, we should say, तैयार ही नहीं थे, बोल के आए थे क्या? Did you call us in first that you are going to come? No, they were in anticipation. Whenever it happens, let me be ready. And after Krishna passes that particular lane, they would take that as and distribute it to the rest of the family. Now you are allowed to eat. Imagine the entire Vrindavan for these two kids. If Vrindavan is like this, imagine what is the status of Yashoda and Rohini. As soon as Krishna and Balarama returns, they would give them a tight hug. All the dust and Krishna himself is standing with dust, without dust, how does it matter? The heart, once it is really in dedication to the Lord, it does not matter. It is not like stand out there, I'll hose you down, then you come in. The mothers would be eagerly waiting in the front yard. The servants would take the calves, tie them down and wait for the cows to come. Krishna and Balarama were received by Yashoda and Rohini. They tightly hugged them. Ankam aropya, take them into their laps. What masti did you do today? What pranks did you do today? How was your day today? See, this is the age when they do not stop talking. Constantly they'll go on talking. Now Balram would start saying something and Krishna would cut in between and say, no, 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 that was not it. It was all because Balramji started cheating. It would be Krishna who would have done those pranks. Krishna, he would not allow Balramji to complain on him. Balramji would not stop but complain about him. Then Krishna would get complaints about everybody. It was all because of Krishna. I said, no, actually, every time it would be a new story. And these kids are pretty smart. Sometimes at that age group, when you start dealing with them, you are surprised. Where do they get all these stories? Krishna was ready. He was ready to outsmart any story that Balarama was ready to give. So as they were being told all these incidents and stories that were happening in the entire day, Rohini and Yashodaji would keep something ready for them as an immediate snack, a power bar. Don't know when they had eaten, what they had eaten, how long was it. So they would give something immediate to eat, dust them off, take away those soiled clothes, and then give a lot of tail malish, massage of oil. After the massage of oil is done, then they would take the powders of all dals and then rub it. So this is called spa, scrub. So along with the dust, all the impurities on the Lord would be taken out. Give them nice shower, abhisheka. Then fresh clothes given to both Krishna and Balarama, decorate them, then do the alankara, nice tilaka, and a little face and hold it, and then Krishna would never be still. Constantly like moving up and down, and as the pin with the tilaka would come near, he would always go back. So the mother had to distract him to apply the tilaka. So the chandana, the tilaka is applied, the body is applied with the chandana, and then beautiful mala, and the mora mukuta, nice yellow clothes, pitambara, and now they are fresh. Now they are taken into the dining place. Sumptuously they were fed. All that they liked was made for them. And Rohini and Yashoda Maya would feed. What Rohini was feeding Balarama, Krishna complained that had more strength and this had less strength. And always said he had to eat that, and this was to be given to Balarama. Because he is always strong. I need that strength. Because Rohini, mother, feeds him with something special in it, that he is getting so strong. So I need that. So always that pranks and eat. At the end of it, have warm milk. I don't know, it was milk under malai or but it was warm. They were fed with that warm milk, and then the mothers would sing lullabies to them. And their melodious singing. Gurudev used to say that any mother with whatever voice starts singing, the child immediately falls asleep. So probably the child thinks, फिर शुरू हो गई, मैं बंद करता हूँ, let me sleep. But here the case was different. Both Yashoda and Rohini, their voices were so sweet that they would immediately sleep comfortably. And then Varashayyayam sukham shushupturvraje. In their beautiful little beds that were made, they would be given enough time to sing lullabies and then sleep. Atha gavascha gopascha. Like this, his leelas. And this was a one-day routine, starting from the morning, taking the entire calves and with the going every day something or the other spectacular in their lives happening. And all this story happened and he is still 6 years old. He has so much more to know about Lord and His glory. Once, ekada, Shukadev ji gives this information. This is the 16th chapter. Shukadev ji says, Vilokya dushitam Krishnam Krishna Krishna hina vibhuhu. Krishna, when you give dirgha, it is another name of Yamuna ji. Krishna means Lord. Krishna is Akaranta Strilingi, which is another name for Yamuna ji. So in this Yamuna river, Dushitam Ahina by the snake, there was a lot of poison mixed into that Yamuna river. Tasya vishuddhim anvichan sarpam udvasayat. Udvasana is to send away, to send that snake away and to purify that particular river. The Lord sent that Kaliya away. Now, Parikshita thought that Shukadev ji is cutting it short. He said, hold, stop there. What is it? Story is done? That there was something Visha in that Yamuna Nadi and that Kaliya was sent away. Come on, rewind. Go back. What exactly happened? Whatever time is left, I would love to listen only about the Lord, and this is what I am waiting for, and you cut short? Katham. How come you can do this? Please narrate that entire story. See, to a speaker, when they are narrating, and if there is even one like Parikshita, who is so eager to listen, who is so eager to understand, there is an inspiration for the speaker. If the Janta who has come to the Shrota has become Sota, all the inspiration that is there is gone. So whenever Shukadev ji finds that Parikshit is coming back with so much enthusiasm to learn, Shukadev ji is charged up again. Says, good that you have asked that question. Shri Shuka Uvacha, Kalindyam Kaliyasya. In the Kalindi Nadi, there was this Kaliya and his family. This Kaliya was a very aged and poisonous snake. Very poisonous snake. It was hiding in there and making its beautiful place in that Yamuna Nadi, but it would give out so much of Visha. How many heads did this Kaliya have? 101 heads. With 101 heads, he would be spitting out all that poison. The entire Yamuna Nadi was getting poisoned by this snake. So it so happened that it was the summer season, and summer season usually, those of you who have grown up in and around Delhi, there is this hot breeze, लू कहते हैं उसको, and when you get hit by it, man, it drains your energy out. It was that season. And in that season, they had gone around with these calves. The calves were feeling really famished, thirsty. The Gopalas were feeling thirsty. And the only source of water was nearby Yamuna Nadi. So they were so thirsty that the moment they saw water, sometimes when you are in that kind of a necessity, पहले करते हैं बाद में सोचते हैं. You first do things and then start thinking. And poor these, they didn't even have time to think. They drank the water, fainted, fell dead. All the calves and Gopalas. And this was the day when Balaramji did not accompany them. So Krishna saw that all these Gopalas and the calves are done, they're dead. Vikshamanam, just with his vision, just with his looking at these calves and children, they all stood up again alive. But they were like, what happened? The last experience was terrible. We get up so fresh. What happened in between? They all turned and looked at Krishna. Oh, you saved us again. So they all collectively decided that we must have again be dead, and he revived us. So by this time it had become a routine. This is the third time, right? Either they get disappeared, they fall dead, and they Krishna always there to protect them. They had gone into that Ajagara, and he protected them, gave them life back. Brahmaji took them, gave them back. Now this time also they all got up and said, okay, Krishna is there, so he has taken care of us. Now how was this water in Yamuna Nadi? The Yamuna Nadi's water was so poisonous that the birds flying across, because of the air, the fumes that had gone up, the birds would drop dead. With the breeze, sometimes when there is a river, the breeze carries some little droplets of water. And when this droplets of water falls on the plants, trees, leaves and grass, it would burn down, fall dead. You're getting that poisonous. Entire patch was dry. So Krishna ji thought, enough. I need this Yamuna Nadi clean for my people. So what did he do? He jumped in. Just to give you a physical statistics, Yamuna Nadi is one of the deepest Nadi. There is another one river, but it is not a Nadi, it is a Nada. The difference between Nadi and Nada. Nadis are all Strilinga. Nada, there is only one Pullinga river. That is Brahmaputra. That is also wide and deep. Yamuna Nadi is really deep. Near Triveni Sangam, it is almost 120, 130 feet deep. Can you imagine? It had made a secured spot in that depth of Yamuna Nadi. So Krishna ji said, enough, and he jumped into that Yamuna Nadi. How was those waters? They were constantly looking as though they were boiling because of the poison that was there in that water. Bhagavan Krishna jumps in. As he jumped in, Kaliya got alerted. His security system beeped. Intruder. So he turned around looking, where is this intruder? Because he saw some movement which was unlike any other movement. So he immediately turned towards Krishna. Anybody entering into his space he would dislike. And Krishna entering, for as though that few minutes, he forgot that he had to attack. He was so taken aback by the beauty of that boy who was standing in front of him. So he says, Tam prekshaniya sukumara ghanavadatam. Preksha, he was looking at Sukumara. She was looking so tender. How would a 6-year-old appear? And he was not just tender, he was looking amazingly gracious. And he was looking as though he was the cloud just about to rain. Not because the waters were bad. The vision of Kaliya was really good. That he could see that beautiful, and that face had such attraction. Kaliya was stunned. He froze there. He said, wow, what a beautiful face, what a beautiful kid. He was scanning him from top to bottom. He looked at those hands. He said, he thought, my tongue is bigger than those hands. And look at those feet. The redness of the feet looks as though it is made out of the bed of lotuses. Such a beautiful kid. Who is this kid and why has he entered? As soon as that question, who is this again? He regained. He said, I have to attack this kid now. So he regained and rushed towards Krishna. With his tail, tied down Krishna, Nagabandha. And then with his 101 heads, struck Krishna in all the marma sthala. Along with the tail, Krishna started floating as though lifeless on Yamuna Nadi. Okay, this is here at Yamuna Nadi. Let's quickly go to Vrindavan. Right since this Gopalas along with Krishna had gone for grazing these cows, Nanda Baba and most of these parents started seeing Apashakuna. Ashakuna, there are many Shakun, in that there are Ashakun. Must be seeing a cat crossing or the wolves making those sounds. All Bhayankara things happening. So in this Ashakuna, they finally scanned and found out that Balarama was left behind and Krishna was all alone. Somehow in their hearts it was such a sinking feeling. They thought there's something terrible going to happen to Krishna. They all gathered together and said, let's go find these kids. They started walking. It was too easy to find because those little hooves of those calves, followed by the little feet of Krishna, and his Lord Krishna's feet always had the various mudra ankita. It had the dhwaja in it, it had ankusha, it had kamala. All these pavitra chihna were there in his feet, which were also imprinted on the footprint. So, okay, this is Krishna's, and they started following. They followed all the way to the Yamuna Tira. At the Yamuna Tira, they found all the gopas and the calves. Nischesta, they have fallen. And in the Yamuna Nadi, what did they find? Krishna wrapped around by the tail of Kaliya and floating. There was no movement there also. Half the fathers and mothers standing there looking at the Krishna, not at their own kids, looking at Krishna, fainted. Yashoda Maya wanted to run and jump into that river to get Krishna back. The other gopis held her tightly back. Now when Krishna saw that all these gopas and Vrindavana people were feeling really lost and looking at their devotion, Krishna said, enough of natak now. So what did he do? He immediately pushed his body to such a huge size that the Kaliya's tail almost felt as though it was going to break, tear apart. He released. And in caution, he picked his 101 head hood. So he opened his hood. And Krishna on the other side, was trying to dodge him. And the Kaliya was also trying to move. So from this side of the river to that side of the river, Krishna started dancing as though, moving as though. And the Kaliya was also moving. Over a period of time, Kaliya moving from one side to the other, started feeling tired. So he started losing little timing. So when he saw that, and in desperation, the Kaliya started beating its tail in the water. Krishna immediately found the opportunity, jumped, caught hold of the tail, jumped on the hood of the Kaliya. Before even Kaliya could realize where, he was already on his head. Sometimes when you are really huge and there is somebody small in front of you, it's not always beneficial to be huge. Size does matter. I was watching one NBA game. All these are 7-footers and they were dribbling. There was this small little fellow, 5'10", 5'11", around my height. And in comparison to those giants, 5'10", 5'11", he suddenly stormed in. Before that tall fellow could realize, the ball was gone. I said, the Kaliya must have felt the same thing. Before he could realize, he was already on his head, on the hood. And this Kaliya, because these Naga over age start developing some money on their hood, had developed some red monies on his hood. And Krishna, landing on that red hood, appeared as though the redness of his feet spread that glow on the head of Kaliya. And this such a beautiful scene to watch, that the entire Swarga for a moment stopped their business in Swarga, came down to the skies of Vrindavana to watch this beautiful thing. And they started playing various divine instruments. And to that tune, as able as the Lord was, he started dancing. Dancing on the hood of this Kaliya. The Kaliya was trying to struggle out, swing himself out, dodge out of these footsteps of Krishna. Krishna, anticipating the movements, would dance accordingly and dance on the hood, holding the tail on one hand and dance on this hood. Now Krishna is no ordinary. For the rest of them it was appearing like a dance. For Kaliya, every time that the heel would hit his head, it would run through its spine. It would be shaking and shivering inside, spitting out volumes of mixture of fumes and fire and poison and blood. Sometimes little drops of this blood would drop on Krishna's feet too. And the gods would say, look, Kaliya has worshipped with his blood. As he was dancing on, the Kaliya started losing his consciousness. Almost with those hoods, started falling into the water, again regaining, again falling into the water, regaining. By this time, this Kaliya Naga had various wives. They surfaced and they started doing prarthana. O Lord, Nyayahi dandaha kritakilbishesmin. Definitely he is worthy of being punished. Who? Kaliya. He has poisoned these waters and poisoned all these people. He is worthy of being punished. We agree. Dandaniyaha eva. But you are the Lord. We give up our duragraha, expecting your anugraha. He is the only one for us. Please spare him for us. Thus starts the stuti of the Nagapatni to the Lord. What does this stuti say? That we will see tomorrow. And the beautiful part is at the end, when Kaliya gets to speak to the Lord. That is the reason that such Kaliya gets blessed by the Tandava of the Krishna on his own head. And what is that? We will see tomorrow. Always learn to save the best. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.